Issues with Rock the Dwayne Johnson backstage. Triple H makes a big change to a Vince McMahon rule. How Mercedes Moné's AEW deal could change women's wrestler pay. And more. I'm Oli Davis, and this is the WrestleTalk News.
Support WrestleTalk!
Drugs and cheap condoms were a bad combination. You're also entitled, arrogant and brash. Some of you have sex, but you have to pay cash. Your hero's gonna bleed and need some stitches. So whine about that, you crybaby bitches. Despite how these sound, these aren't the lines from the latest banned video Nasty. With language and scenes so shocking, the BBFC won't certify it for general release. No, these are the lines spoken on the new scourge of polite society. WWE SmackDown on Fox. According to SE Scoops, WWE President Nick Khan, Chief Content Officer Paul Levesque, and the Executive Vice President of Talent, Dan Ventrell, sent a memo to their talent the other week reminding them to follow PG guidelines on TV and social media. Even though the product has embraced a far more grown-up presentation recently, WWE still makes PG-rated programming. Not just for its TV network partners, but for its many sponsorship and licensing deals with kid-focused companies like Mattel. But try telling that to The Rock. Since he boldly attempted to just take Cody Rhodes' Royal Rumble earned WrestleMania main event match as a babyface, The Rock wisely lent into the negative fan backlash and turned himself heel. It's taken a PR disaster and ingeniously turned it into one of the hottest WrestleMania builds ever, with Rock siding with Roman Reigns' bloodline against Cody and Seth Rollins. The Rock's performance and character work has been the best TV of an already very good WWE TV year, massively succeeding in all possible metrics: social media views, TV ratings, live event ticket sales. But one of the main things he's used to get his new Hollywood Rock act over is the exact opposite of the PG guidelines the rest of the roster have been told they have to follow. This has apparently led to WWE talent questioning why The Rock is allowed to curse on TV and social media, but they aren't. Which I think I can probably help you out with an answer there. He's The Rock! He's amongst the highest paid actors in the world, and also your boss's boss, sitting on the TKO board of directors. But even with realistic explanations, it does lay bare WWE's double standards in what The Rock can do versus everyone else, and it's reportedly getting under some talent's skin and has rubbed some people the wrong way. It seems that The Rock is able to get away with dropping every flowery profanity he wants to on social media, while the rest of the roster are wearing PG handcuffs. I was additionally told that talent are asking why The Rock is getting a pass. So The Rock himself has answered on social media, posting his Rock concert clip from Friday's episode of SmackDown, where he claims it isn't just the roster that has issues with his language. The TV network, so presumably Fox, do too. You sound like somebody The Rock can love. Drunk and horny. Emoji face with hearts. Networks and standards and practices have issues with my language, but I'd rather be real than not. I talk from the heart, shoot from the hip, and try to always have fun. Enjoy The Rock concert. Musical notes emoji, devil face emoji. I'm pretty sure that's whiskey in a tumbler emoji. Standards and practices. Name of WWE's next mid-card heel faction. It's not the only backstage issue WWE is having with The Rock, as Fightful Select have reported that SmackDown Rock concert segment overran on the live broadcast, meaning cuts had to be made to other matches later on in the show. This follows a similar thing happening on the March 1st episode, where the 40-minute opening Bloodline segment went huge over time, meaning changes had to be made to the rest of the show, significantly affecting the Tiffany Stratton vs. Naomi match. However, The Rock's personal producer Brian Gewitz, who has been brought back to WWE to work on his segments, has denied this on X, writing, "The segment went 30 seconds under its allotted 20 minutes. What do you think about The Rock's presentation in WWE? Do you think he's taking advantage of the situation to get himself over at the expense of everyone else? Having fun with his character and how Triple H can't really do much about that, or a mixture of the above? Let me know in the comments, because I'll be replying to people from outer naughty words. Like bottom. Triple H can't really exert his political power over The Rock anymore, so he's going to keep ripping up Vince McMahon's old rulebook instead. In the 40 years that Vince McMahon ruled over WWE, he nearly always sought to ignore the existence of any other wrestling promotion or wrestler not within WWE. That's why when people said names like New Japan or Ring of Honor in promos on Raw, guess which promo I'm talking about? Because it's not Scott Steiner's Maths one! It was so shocking and cathartic. But Triple H's creative reign has softened that stance considerably. TNA's Knockouts champion Jordynne Grace had a great surprise entry into the 2024 Women's Royal Rumble. Shinsuke Nakamura was allowed to wrestle at the Great Muta's retirement show. And now Shayna Baszler has been announced for an indie show on WrestleMania weekend. Baszler will compete at Josh Barnett's Bloodsport 10 on April 4th, an annual show under the GCW banner, with no ring ropes and victory only achieved through submission or KO. Not only is it a far more realistic and violent kind of wrestling to WWE, well, that's one way around the PG guidelines, it often features talent from AEW. In fact, WWE wrestler Shayna will share this card with the AEW contracted Johnny Bloodsport, which is Johnny TV. John Morrison, he's got loads of names. Dave Meltzer has reported letting Shayna work the show was a Triple H decision because he has a different view on these things than Vince McMahon had. Fightful Select have added that Barnett has been trying to get WWE stars on Bloodsport for some time, previously requesting Jessamine Duke when she was in NXT, which would have been as far back as 2018 to 2021. Likely because of Vince's ban on WWE wrestlers appearing for other promotions, that was blocked. But Barnett and Triple H are apparently long-term friends. So he called Levesque directly to ask about booking Baszler. Triple H said yes, and more WWE names are expected to be announced for Bloodsport at a later date. If Triple H wants to send his most fearsome, most dangerous workers, let Bloodsport book Nia Jax. Our brand new WrestleTalk original went live at the weekend with Luke Owen investigating who really killed WCW. Here's a clip.
With the merger completed in October of 1996, WCW was now under the larger umbrella of Time Warner, who introduced new things into the Bischoff equation like corporate oversight and profitability expectations. All of a sudden, those big contracts to Hogan, Hall and Nash were looking a bit dicey. They probably also looked at the yearly Hog/Road Wild event, which was, I kid you not, a free show to attend. A yearly pay-per-view where the attendance gate revenue was $0 and 0 cents.
Which made 0 cents, am I right?
The link's in the video description below, so open that now and watch it as soon as you're done watching this video. Our next WrestleTalk original is me diving into The Rock's history of backstage politics, which is a crazy journey from one of the most unselfish top guys in wrestling history, I've proved that with maths, but not Steiner maths, to, well, you know, to what's happened this year. Give us a subscribe and enable notifications to know when that goes live first. Following Mercedes Moné's debut for AEW on last weekend's Big Business Dynamite special, Fightful has reported the promotion will focus more on its women's division going forward, with not just one women's segment per episode, but 2! Unlike how WWE used to treat their higher-paid stars better precisely because they cost them more money, a similar mental device seems to be at play here. Because the Wrestling Observer newsletter claims they've heard Moné is now the highest-paid woman in pro wrestling. A WWE star told Meltzer that they're thrilled for Moné's deal, because it creates a better market for the top women wrestlers elsewhere. Meltzer gave no clue on which WWE women's star with their contract expiring this year that could be. But in totally separate news, Becky Lynch met President Biden yesterday as part of St. Patrick's Day. Becky Lynch. Unfortunately, while women's wrestlers' pay is looking up, the women's tag team title curse remains, as Asuka, one half of the champions, appears to be injured. Asuka was seen limping after Damage Control attacked Bayley on Friday's episode of SmackDown. It was serious enough for her to be removed from the weekend's live events. There's no update on whether she'll be out any longer. In an update to Friday's story about Booker T claiming he almost got into it backstage with CM Punk at a recent NXT taping, Fightful is reporting their sources are skeptical that ever happened, and there's frustration with Booker for suggesting that something did. Apparently, Fightful's sources weren't aware of any near backstage altercation taking place, security weren't informed of a confrontation, and there was no general talk amongst the roster or crew about Booker and Punk. If anything, it was reiterated that Punk hadn't had any backstage issues since he returned to WWE, and he's been generally very helpful and in good spirits whenever he's shown up at NXT. Maybe it was Booker T who really killed WCW? Find out by clicking the video on the left for our latest WrestleTalk original.